July ni thum sang ni somni parukania US de Iran inbiakna atobri dona Iran lampang in warning an pea President Donald Trump atsuanin Iran hi kan neto aron tiani he news hi kan reaction mai hian he kan in haulokang
Royal Florida hian signboard chi shang ka siam thei ringa Chudi Judy nameplate logo chi shang ka siam thei ringe signboard moi tak mangin Royal Florida te chuan in emo door office ti chang tlungin amoina bel cha tu ni hi kan du tak zita indoor in mi mit alo lak le zwal na le customer tamsok in nei bel chur theinan Royal Florida a signboard lo order ve vak tro le kan tarlana hian engdiklai po Sofia Theireng kan ni Royal Florida Zarkot Main Road near SBI ATM contact 9378143753
Royal Florida tin an Instagram hi ilo follow don bokania he Instagram hand page thadeu an neya heta hian in an hatho zong len mani biak theina tur engkim vek bokani Royal Florida olai tuna zonin kan react chanang
President Trump says Iran has agreed to most of the United States' demands.
Donald Trump atsuanin Iran te hianin US na an demand zong de tho hi miron pompui to tin aron soyani tuna amaron to
defeated them militarily.
Sipai chak na mang chong heto sipai big in daw na big hi chonin Iran hi kan he to
Totally defeated militarily. They have some missiles left. We could wipe them out too.
Misal them chu an la nei khang te po ka du chonin kan noi bo thei ti
And I hit them 3 times last week very hard.
kar phasa khanin voi thum ka boka ati ani
Because they sent a drone into a ship, I hit them.
Achan chu drone mangin long an lo ka pa khami wang hanin Iran khan kap ve ha la ni
And we're negotiating, and we'll see whether or not. I think they've agreed to just about everything we need.
Tuna hianin kanin dor meka tuna hianin United States lampang ina kan demand ang hi chu asa vai de thoi min pom sak to ti in Trump hiran tong chuak ta tin poi mo le de pakhat chu tuna hianin Iran te hianin Khamenei an supreme leader kha US tena an tha sakta khamo kha avuina hunan mangdo na ni khatianga ni awang khanin United States le Iran lampang inbiak na hi tuna hianin mumal takin akal ri to chia lo anga report a ombok ani.
However, the Islamic Republic issuing a warning to oil tankers moving through the Strait of Hormuz that they must use approved routes or face a, quote, forceful response.
Iran lampang chon in warning an lappe vereng mayani Strait of Hormuz himo la soi bang thailo he Iran lampang hianin kaltir na turbik hi kongzo turbik hi an ruam han saka heng long te ho hi chuwan chon in long zong in kan kong ruam han hi in zo vek turani in zo vek turani chu tienga ni lo chuanin kan ron kap le meng chiuti in Iran hianin warning an lo pen a khop maya maseka ngai to Iran he tiang warning pe thei tur din huna hianin engtika tangkhan nge lo din ti kha ka zona kha om thei bok ani.
Fox News contributor and former CIA station chief Dan Hoffman joins me now. Dan, good morning to you. So these negotiations right now, of course, aren't just about Iran's nuclear program. They're also over the Strait of Hormuz. And
tuna anin biak na hi chuanin nuclear program le Strait of Hormuz de ungar hi an soi to ani abak thil dang hi an soi riwak to lo.
Yesterday, Iran doubled down on their demand to control the routes that ships take through the strait. Here's the quote from Iran's military command. They say any failure to comply, deviation from the designated routes, or disregard for the navigation protocols of the Islamic Republic of Iran in the Strait of Hormuz will be met with an immediate and forceful response from the armed forces, endangering the security of the violating vessels.
Then ang reng le may any failure to comply, deviation from the designated route kalkong kal na turbik kal du lo luye mo kan thu zom lo shim le ke mani Iran ramte ina kan thu chua Strait of Hormuz tung chang pia kan thu chua ngai poi mo lo shim te hi chu kan thu soi le kan du da na an om lo rualin ke ni lampang hianin Iran Armed Forces ke ni Iran sipai te zonin kan ron be ngal don ti in tu na hianin warning an ron pe ne voina warning an pe kan ni when Thursday voina warning an pe kan ni
from the armed forces, endangering the security of the violating vessels. So is the situation now that ships are forced to either choose between Iranian demands or brave waters that are overseen by the United States? Because that does not feel like the free flow of commerce here.
Strait of Hormuz block tolo turantia an hongta mase Iran hin ti thu khop mai tu na hian a chan chu Iran ina kong zo tur ti khi zo lo ta se United States in zo khera ngai hlei ne meta rongkal ro lo ti tang se United States lampang te khanin protection ven him na te kha an pe theyang em ti kha guarantee te po kha om theidon nge don lo ti kha la chiang bik si lawa a chan chu Iran te po hian in drone ka chho na te missile ka chho na te hin na nei nga reng se khoi khoi man ni rong kap chuak le thut thei bo ka ding kha thil om thei ani mo.
Yeah, it's not quite the free flow of commerce. Iran doesn't want to close the Strait entirely because they need it open to export their oil. We've lifted the blockade, and so
Iran hian in Strait of Hormuz chu an khar du to lo tu na hi chon an fing ve khop mai a chan chu an mani te pon oil kha thon chu angai chu wan chonin han khar to pa kha chu Iran lampang hi chon in an du bik lawa United States te po hian in navy blockade anti kha anti to lova.
They are selling their oil at market prices, and that revenue is important to their regime, especially obviously the IRGC, which I believe will try to use that money to rearm and reconstitute their ballistic missiles and their drones.
Hetianga Iran ina oil a thal chhuah ve na man sumtling khom hi IRGC Iran si pai te chuan in drone te ballistic missile te siam chhuah bel le nan an man arin om ani so itong khanin Iran hian Strait of Hormuz chu an khar du bik chi lawa ma se an control rem khop mai.
But at the same time, Iran wants to project power, and they want to enforce some control over their own self-designated sphere of influence. They want to make it clear to the Gulf states and the United States that they can control the Strait of Hormuz going forward, that they will have a role to play in how it's managed.
Iran lampang hian in a thil ti chian deuh an nei du pakhat chu ai Gulf state Oman ngan ti te United Arab Emirates Bahrain Saudi Arabia te le ramdang te pon nga heng ho ram laka hian Strait of Hormuz a hian in kan thu berani hei kan thu nei na ani ti hi Iran lampang hian in ti lan hi an du na sakhop maya heng Gulf states ba hian in United States te laga te po hian in Iran hian in Strait of Hormuz hi kan du chuan kan control thei ti ang zonga thu nei kha an tum khop mai ani mo.
Yeah, that's right. And President Trump said that he wants to give diplomacy a try, but there is, of course, a limit to everything. And these statements that Iran are making about the Strait are obviously pushing it. So what would a military operation actually look like for the United States to regain control or gain control of the Strait of Hormuz if it comes to that?
Trump hi chuan in inbiak hi chu adua indo ai chuan ma se lo window don ta se engtin nge United States sipai te hi an che dang Strait of Hormuz Iran thu nei na lak bo sak tur hian engtin nge United States sipai te an che dang.
So first, I think it's important to emphasize we're in kind of an inflection point right now. I don't expect anything to happen between now, July 4th and July 9th, during the funeral for Ayatollah Khamenei.
July ni li atanga July ni ko chung hi chuan in engthil ma hi thlenarin omri lo a chan chu Khamenei kha atira an indoni masapera United States lampangina an tha kha an vuidona ma se an van vuiri ang reng ve ni li tanga ni ko he calendar en maula nili nikhat ni thum nili ninga niruk kar kha chung loi vuidon hi turu ang reng hle mai nili tanga ni ko chung chu engma thleng don lo.
After that, the question is whether we head to negotiations, in real good faith negotiations, which we have not begun yet. There were indirect discussions in Doha, but nothing substantive about Iran's nuclear program. And of course, we've got to be concerned about their ballistic missile program and their support to proxy terrorists. Everything that was wrong about the JCPOA, the sunset clauses on Iran's nuclear program. President Trump will be held accountable for delivering something better.
Tuna hianin Khamenei kha an vui zo khanin United States te hianin direct in Iran hi anin biak pui theian lein biak pui thei lo boka sipai changna mangin an be thei lo boka I tuna Qatar Doha khanin US le Iran te hi chu direct in lein belawani indirect veka le in bia an ni tuna hi chuan mo chu wan chuanin Donald Trump te po hianin be sin sang tak nen hianin Iran te po hi thataka han indor pui chu adu in arin oma a thei angemo ti chuanin mitam takin Donald Trump a che dan tur hi tuna hianin an endo na ni a chan chu ani hi atong and
as far as a military strike is concerned, the president reportedly was briefed this week about military options, and he chose to let diplomacy run its course for.
Tun kara po kanin Trump patne na kanin sipay officer te kanin I heng te hi kan be don chuanin kan ti dan turan hi ti kanin Trump ka briefing an lo nei pu yani ma se Trump chuanin langai ri lo we tu na chuanin la in beri photang a lo ti sak ane.
Longer, we've destroyed some large percentage of Iran's missiles and drones, but they still retain enough asymmetric capabilities, their Mosquito fleet, mines, some missiles and drones, to cause problems for us in the Strait of Hormuz. If we were to mount a military operation, it would be costly, economically costly, potentially. And so the president will have to weigh doing that versus the approaching midterms. And
Trump hi chu afigang renga asan chu tuna hianin Iran hianin missile te drone te mosquito fleet along tereu te chak te speedboat kan tiang chi te kha chuan tuya bomb an kam ang chi te sea mines kan tiang chi te kha Iran lampang hianin an la nei ve ani chu wan chuan United States hianin du chuan direct in an be theya ma se an va be khan Iran chuanin an lo dolet nge kherlo theya ma se United States ta na nge boi thak tur deuh khanin thil te kha an la siam sak ve thei tleta United States lampang hianin Iran hi chu missile te engke ban ti chiat sak deuh vek to amaro chu Iran hianin an la nei ve mi wa boi na han siam thei na tur khamo kha an la nei ve mi wa chu wan chuanin Trump chuanin angai ri lawe chu wan chuan la in beri ang ati na chan te po ha ni mai thei ni kha
the potential impact on the global economy and ours as well.
Dan, given your
so in dawlen so in Strait of Hormuz ten kar lenga oil man ron sa le petrol man te tawlenga zin man te tawlenga engim man kharon tawle effect don ani kami kha Iranin tuna hianin warning an ron pele Strait of Hormuz longkal tang ho shim ha warning an pe chuanin Trump chuanin kan ne to ani haron tia ti chuanin US le Iran te hi naktu atanga chiran ninga chung ni ruk chung niruk chung tu na hianin anin betori don lawan ya chan chu khamene yete an vui don tat mai ani hole khati zong kha tun tum news atana hanan ri kan update thei te chu ni video lai mulai thu don ye